right? Just have another listen, because it's just the idea that they would actually include this on the song. Can we hear it? Yeah. Yeah, just pop that on a song. Why not? Just leave that in. Just listening to it with your mates. Oh, you never believe. You know that scream just there? You know what that was? That was a woman murdered in the studio. Don't tell anyone.
Oh.
But anyway, the reason that the myth was kind of propagated was that the fact that the Ohio players were asked about it, and they didn't mention. They just said, well, I can't confirm or deny those rumours. I mean, police didn't investigate, and of course, subsequently, obviously, what it is that one of the singers in the Ohio Players was just doing a sort of loud style, high-pitched wail, as one does, you know, in that kind of James Brown style, and that's all it is. But obviously that myth has propagated for many years subsequently.
There's a lot of myths like that are propagated, mostly by my father.
Sure.
And I think he's done it fairly recently. You tell me that, you know the song Easy Like a Sunday Morning?
Sure.
And there's a nice interlude and he goes, ugh! My dad had me convinced that was recorded live, and when he was performing on stage, there was dog poo all over the stage, and I actually stepped in a pile.
And went,
that's why, yeah. But the elaborate story, the lengths he went to, and I actually ended up just believing him out of ease.
Well, I'm quite an archivist of the rock urban legend. Just because some of them are so fantastic, and there's the one, and some of them are actually true, which is what makes them even more bizarre. For instance, the band Kiss, okay, big sort of, you know, preposterous rock act of the 70s. They had a comic. They were so popular they had a comic with Marvel Comics, and there was an urban myth that the first issue of the comic, as a sort of bone to the fans, some of their blood, some of the band's blood, was withdrawn from their bodies and mixed with the ink, okay, that was used to publish this first comic. All right. Now that sounds absurd. Oh no, that's true. That one is actually true. You can actually go online. You can see the certificate that they had signed. They had to sign it so that they could endorse the fact that it actually happened. It was a little gift to the fans. They had their some blood taken from all the band members, including Gene Simmons, frozen for a while, mixed with the ink, because this is what fans of Kiss are after. They want blood. They literally want blood from their idols. And yeah, it was mixed with the comic. And so there, if you have the first edition of Kiss comic where they battle crime and whatnot, it's actually mixed with blood.
That makes me desperately uneasy. They weren't the safest, cleanest, straight-cut boys in the town.
Absolutely. So some young child, exactly. Some of the things. Children? Oh goodness! I'm presuming it's dry by the time the comic is in the shops. But
was it certified? Did they have to be tested? I'm worried about
There's so many questions for you, isn't it? That was the heady days of the 70s. That was when rock. You could just incorporate blood. Who knows? You could have dog mess on the stage to record an album. People were getting killed in studios. It was a different time, Sammy. But anyway, if you have any favourite rock myths and whatnot, get in touch. What's the? How do we get in touch? Oh, you've got press the little thingy, yeah.
Text us on 64046 or email stephen.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk.
There's a couple of absolute crackers. We'll also be able to put to rest, I'll do that in a second, the urban myth that Bobby McFerrin, the singer of the song Don't Worry Be Happy, supposedly committed suicide. Did he? We'll find out.
BBC Six Music.
By what you might term bedroom boffins, and I'm pretty certain, I mean, I should have probably looked this up, really, as it's the second tune I've played in this particular segment, this theme, but yeah, she's from Hackney. Her name is Anissa Blay. She's 22 years old, and that's her debut single, On My Own, and from what I understand, she kind of pretty much is a sort of bedroom wunderkind, although I think she works with a producer, so maybe they've popped to a studio. I should have looked into it. It's my own fault. I've had plenty of time, but anyway, I thought it was cracking, the Cock and Ball Kid, and she's getting a lot of hot praise at the moment. We got a race on because the news is fast approaching. Sammy, what's your tune? Your tune?
My tune this week is actually derived from the Grand Theft Auto 4 game.
Are you busy playing that?
Not a lot, I'll be honest. I tend to watch boys playing it. That makes me sound awful,
you
but I'll
just hang out in shops watching boys play it?
Mostly, yes.
Sure.
It became so popular that the Rapture have decided to release it as a single. Sad for all people called Ben, as the song's called No Sex for Ben.
Perfect. Thanks, kid. 1, 2, 3. Simon's musical choice. It was the Rapture. Hang on, let me turn you up. Sorry, I'm confused. Go on. Are you there? Have you moved microphones?
She's moved microphones.
Oh, for goodness sake, people have got to tell me these things.
Hello, there I am.
No, this is an absolute outrage. We've got to get to the news quickly. Just name the goddamn song.
The Rapture, No Sex for Ben.
News.
On digital. Online.
Your Backing vocals from Kirsty MacColl, of course, that's the Wonder Stuff, and welcome to the Cheap Seats from 1991's album Never Loved Elvis. I'm now going to do one of the best links that I've done. Imagine you are an award-winning comedian, you've had sell-out shows at the Edinburgh Festival, and you're doing a show up there. Some people come in late, right? They come in late, and not only that, they've got seats behind a pillar or something. Might you say, oh hello, welcome to the Cheap Seats.
Top link.
Alright, let me just turn you up,
I was mesmerised.
Yeah,
by that
you didn't know where I was going with it, and yet...
No, I hoped it was going to be bringing me in.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
And I thought it went well.
I thought it was impossible to get between me and the Wonder Stuff
You see?
in one sentence.
But there you are, it went well. I could have worked, probably more magic with it if I'd longer, but I didn't, because it only occurred to me as I started talking.
Well, given that, it was a brilliant piece of
Thank you very much indeed.
I think what I'd do is probably say welcome to the Cheap Seats and then say, oh, that's a reference to Wonder Stuff, and then dig myself more and more into a hole because no one would know what I was talking about.
I see, right, I see.
might end up saying I'm building up my problems to the size of a car, but even then, people
Yeah.
think, why
are you
talking
droning
about
on?
the Wonder Stuff? The show hasn't been about this.
Exactly. Particularly if you've opened with it.
Yeah.
Because again, you've not really established...
Oh, it would be disastrous opening to a
Yeah,
show,
it would be a
definitely.
terrible way to do it.
It's one of the main things they teach you at comedy school. Don't start with loads of stuff about the Wonder Stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
Chesney Hawks maybe, but
Maybe if it was 1991 again.
Oh, it would be a very different game, yeah.
Listen.
But in general, you can't go back to the early 90s to your opening
You
riff.
can, but if you did fall back in through a time tunnel to 1990s, hang on a minute, weren't you on TV's time tunnel?
Time Trumpet.
Time
yeah.
Trumpet, so even that almost worked.
Yeah, but that was sort of about the future, looking
Yeah.
back at the... But even then, I think... I'm almost starting to think it's hard to get the Wonder Stuff into it.
Yeah,
You've done well to even sustain this. Yeah.
I'm beginning to think that what I should have said is, please welcome Mark Watson. Round of applause.
Oh, yeah.
Because
All right,
obviously
yeah.
a lot of people are going, this is some guy gabbling away.
We've lost most of our listeners in this,
Yeah.
in this hellish period.
I mean,
yeah.
if anyone's going to care about the Wonder Stuff, it will be Six Music listeners, but even they aren't able to tolerate this level.
That is my consolation.
Exactly.
On some radio stations, we'd immediately have been shut down now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, how's it going?
Oh, I'm alright.
Yeah, because I don't think we've met before.
No, it's awkward because we sort of met in the way that we made eye contact and people assume we knew each other, so they didn't really introduce us.
I don't remember when this was.
Oh, it was about 3 years ago, I think.
You would probably remember me,
I think you made a big impression on me. And
whereas I meet a lot of
barely
people.
scratched the surface of your... Yeah, of course, you've been sort of out to Vegas and that.
I've done all sorts. Yeah, I have been to Vegas.
Exactly, yeah, I haven't been to Vegas.
Yeah,
so
I've been to
that-
Vegas twice.
Exactly, I've been no times.
Okay, so deal with it.
So there's almost no way that I can look at you and both of us remember equally.
Right, because I probably met one of those two magicians,
Yeah, exactly.
either Siegfried and Royal. It was, I don't know which one it was. They look the same. but-
Dion or... Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've rubbed up against all sorts, haven't you?
I have, because that's something I get my kicks from that, and
Yeah, you
I've
did.
rubbed up against Elton John.
Yeah, well, you were sort of heavily associated with a very popular TV show, whereas so again, I mean, I'd be surprised if you remember this even
I'll be
after-
surprised
in
if
2
not
weeks' time,
only am I'm not going to remember this link, and even now the fans listening, they've already forgotten who you are.
I shouldn't think anyone will remember anything about me once I'm dead, is what we're saying.
Exactly,
But certainly in the short term, if I came back in next week, I'd be surprised if you remember me. No, that's fine.
Anyway, Mark, when did we meet?
So I had a bit of sip of coffee there because I thought you were
Yes.
going to do a longer bit, but instead you did the joke. It was maybe 3 years ago, and it was
Okay.
backstage at some sort of... I know Robin Ince was involved. I think it was some sort of after-show thing. Anyway, it wasn't what you call a meet, but we were sort of on opposite ends of a discussion group.
Yes.
And in normal circumstances, someone would have said, "Mark, this is Stephen." Also, I knew you used to work for Venue Magazine, did you, in Bristol?
I did.
This is not very interesting.
This is so. I mean, this is so
Well, I
specific.
think we started on a very specific note. If we make it more and more specific until literally every last listener thought, no, thank you, I'm
Yeah.
going to,
There's nothing left here
capital or
for me.
something. Yeah.
Sure.
But anyway, because of that, because we've come from the same place, basically our lives have intertwined many times without us ever.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a sort of Mr. Burns and Homer Simpson situation, really, where
Sure.
I keep popping up in your life, but you're never likely to remember.
What I like about that is you've broadened it out to a much bigger reference point now.
Yeah, I
The
thought it was
Simpsons,
very important to
millions
go
of
as
people
big
watch
as
The Simpsons.
possible, yeah.
Some people now are probably.
I'm working on the reference to the alphabet soon.
I
'cause
think.
that-
I think is it only Baywatch that has been seen by more people? So maybe if you could mention, I don't know, breasts or something.
I'll try and do that in the next hour.
Mention tits, that would be ideal. But so anyway, let's not talk about Bristol because that will just seem like it's kind of incestuous and a bit cliquey.
It'll feel like sort of tricky this, massive attack that.
Exactly, which would be obsessive. But what I was going to say was Bobby McFerrin, right? Bobby McFerrin, he had a hit with "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
Yeah, and I heard you saying this.
Supposedly, there's a story going around that Bobby McFerrin, as a kind of cruel rock and roll irony, committed suicide, having preached the message "Don't worry, be happy." Right?
Right.
I can confirm now, not true.
I
right?
thought that didn't
Check on his website.
Disappointed.
My Sunday just got worse.
What, that he's still alive?
Mine got
That's a
better.
horrific and racist thing to say. That's
Yeah, that was
terrible.
really
the
racist.
racism comes around again.
I feel horrible being near someone who's
Yeah,
racist.
no, don't be afraid to
Sorry.
move away. I'll have her sit down. Listen, kid, you've got a lot to learn by the end of the show.
Yeah, you can't just go around saying you think people of other ethnic groups should kill themselves
Yeah,
all the time.
exactly. That is just so out of order. Particularly
Yeah.
someone who preached such a happy message. He's currently he's about to tour both Japan and Korea. Do you hate them as well?
No.
Yeah.
But the thought of him going there makes her furious.
Well, she doesn't know. She doesn't know who to hate first.
Exactly.
Anyway.
I'm glad he didn't kill himself, just because I wouldn't be able to hear that song again without thinking, oh dear.
Yeah, exactly. Just before we move on, that you know that other amazing myth. Have you ever heard that one? Are you a Wizard of Oz fan?
Well, I don't know if you can be a fan.
What do you mean? There's a lot of people who are fans of the.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say I sort of think about it that much on a day-to-day basis.
No, sure. But anyway, you may have heard the famous myth that, or is it a myth? That I'm trying to tease
You know.
people there. Yeah, it's a
sorry,
myth.
it is
It's a myth.
Yeah, yeah.
I've ruined the sort of slight
Okay,
tease.
still.
But anyway, supposedly, if you stop a scene when they're about to say, I think they're off to see the wizard or something, you can see, now this is supposedly the myth, and you can find people talking about this in web forums and
I
stuff
bet
if
you
look
can,
for
yeah.
a munchkin, right, or a small person, I don't think they're actually munchkins.
No, just a slightly short man.
A small man, supposedly lovelorn, okay, he fancied another munchkin, she did not reciprocate his feelings. You can see, if you freeze frame, you can see him, supposedly, this is the story, you can see him hang himself in the background of one of the scenes in The Wizard of Oz. You can see a figure string themselves up and sort of swing from a tree. And if you watch it, and you'll see on the web people filming it, blowing it up and stuff, you can actually see this happen. There is something very weird and mysterious going on.
But it wasn't that.
Let me tell you what it was, okay, because I know you're panicked. Do you know what? I should play a tune, and then people can come back and find out what it is, because
don't
that
know
will
if I
keep
can
them
take it.
listening. That will keep 8 people who are interested in knowing the answer to this
We might as
listening
well cut our losses.
for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So we like to ask our contributors, our guests, call it what you will, for a musical choice. What have you chosen?
I've chosen a song called Use It by the New Pornographers, who are a band that I continue trying to plug because, like, I was on Six Music once before and I again played them. I just think they're brilliant, and somehow they've gone under the radar completely. They're just it's just pop, but it's just really, it makes me really happy, yeah. And I reckon, well, last time I was on Six Music, I made an emotional plea, A, for everyone to listen to them, and B, for me to be in the band. And neither of those things has happened, but I'm just gonna keep plugging away.
Fantastic, thank you, New Pornographers, use it. Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Steve Merchant. We've got Sammy from the North.
Hello.
Hello, and also Mark Watson has joined us.
Hello.
And
I've more than joined you, I've rocked your show.
yes, you have. Thank you very much indeed. What was the tune?
That tune, that was Use It by the New Pornographers. It's a bit awkward, so I just said what a great band they are, and if people think, oh, I didn't really like that, it's awkward. But all their songs are really good. So even if you didn't like that, A, you're wrong, but B, just go and buy an album, buy the album to
Sure,
them,
but
I
also
reckon.
it could have soured people's opinion. Does he deserve to be on Six Music? If he doesn't
I know,
what
it's
he's talking
awkward.
about, we didn't
It's
like
like
the
when you
music.
say, oh, this guy's really funny, and then someone sees one joke and they go, that wasn't very funny, and then it ruins their
whole
Bill Hicks
perception.
is dead to them forever then.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but also, as you say, I'm fighting for my place on Six Music here.
Well, a lot of
after
people
that awkward first segment, I need to
I thought it went well. I thought it went surprisingly well.
but I
if you
think we
don't mind
might
saying.
get some, in the press might be on our backs if there's any more Wonder stuff, yeah.
Don't even mention it.
Sorry,
sorry. Now then, how might people know Mark Watson? Why might they say, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to switch over to a rival station. I'm going to hang around because Mark Watson, I like him.
They might, if they do make that decision, it'll be largely on your reputation, not mine.
Okay.
I think. But I suppose they might have. Well, I quite often I'm on things like Mock the Week and never mind the Buzzcocks and those sort of shows, but I don't really ever speak on them.
Right.
So
is that not what they're paying you for?
yeah, I try to. It just gets edited out.
Sure.
And or I was on 8 out of 10 Cats, and I really was very quiet. But I do my best. But I just can't. I'm quite polite, and on those shows, it's quite hard to sort of
To get your words.
get your words in. So, but they might have seen me on those things, or I do quite a lot of. They just will have seen me do stand-up, but I sound more Welsh on stage, so they might. People might be
they're confused.
They're confused, yeah. For example, if they've been to Edinburgh, they might have seen me, or
Sure.
or they might just have a good feeling about me based on nothing in particular. Yeah, or I'm on Fighting Talk on 5. To be honest, I do loads of things.
You do
None of
sound
them-
like a sort of jack of all trades, master of none.
It's very much a case of more effort than actual talent, yeah, but certainly people might know me, if nothing else, as just somebody who carries on trying.
Yes,
God
good.
loves
Well,
to try.
that that's what we welcome on this show because and also one of the reasons
I've
I've
written
got you
2
on-
books, 3 books, so there's plenty of reason people might know me, but they won't be. I certainly won't make anyone's night. It's more a case of, oh yeah, that guy.
But one of the reasons I got you on is that conscious that my usual posse, you fill in a lot of the gaps. It's a depleted team this week. You are, of course, a man who has spent a lot of time filling up